Welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune page. Here you will find original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Well, welcome back. We are so excited here at the Los Angeles Tribune on LA Leadership Week because you are about to be seeing and meeting someone who is such a legend. We have a living legend in the midst of us coming up. Rex, how excited are you on this segment?
Oh, gosh, never ask me how excited I am because I'm over the top excited. The gentleman we have coming up is inimitable. He's incredible and he's invaluable. He is priceless. And he is someone who not only is an incredible human being, an exceptional person when it comes to inspiring and getting people to discover the best in themselves, but he has the best laugh in the entire world. There is no other laugh or person like Mr. Les Brown, and we're so lucky to have him here. There he is. Hi, Les. Mr. Brown, how are you?
I'm just blessed. I'm cancer-free, I'm debt-free, and I'm drama-free.
Oh my gosh, that's the way to live life.
Yes.
Drama-free.
Yes.
Les, at the background, I was just complimenting you. We've done a lot of shows with you, and it seems like every year you're getting younger, and even right now, and I think laughter has a lot to do with it, and being drama-free. So thank you for the tip.
Well, thank you. As I said, I believe when we're born, we look like our parents, but as we get older, we look like the life we live.
Oh my, what a wisdom, the life we live.
Yeah.
Well, let me just come down on the green room, and I'm gonna have Rex and you be in authentic conversations among yourselves, two living legends.
Let me say that Ava is the editor-in-chief of the Los Angeles Tribune, and without her, we would not be able to do all of the wonderful things that the Los Angeles Tribune brings about and helps connect people all around the globe. So thank you, Ava, for everything that you do and for being here with Les and me.
Oh, I'm humbled. I feel like I just show up, and people who live their lives, amazing, the whole life, the choices that they make, like Les has done, is someone that we'd love to definitely spotlight, highlight, honor. Les, thank you so much for the life you live, for the choices that you've made that led you to be the inspiration that we are all looking at right now. So thank you.
Well, I want to say to you, Ava, that you have the two B's, brilliance and beauty. Even Stevie Wonder can see that. Yes.
Thank you. Oh my God, that means a lot. Brilliance and beauty. Thank you so much, Les. And Rex, thank you. I'm going to be on the green screen.
Well, while she's gone, I will say, I mean, the comments that you made right there is a Stevie Wonder, even he can see it. It's because it's the radiance, it's the energy, it's the effervescence that emits from a human being that makes them look more beautiful besides the physical characteristics.
Yes, absolutely. It's that inner beauty that comes out, and that's what most important that people tap into.
That's marvelous. I hope as I age that I look more and more like my girl dogs.
Look, Rex, how old are you?
I'll be 69 this year.
69. Oh, come on. You still a little boy.
I'm a puppy compared to you, sir.
Yes, I am 79. Yes. And I tell you, I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 79, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper, but I got some good tips.
I'm gonna agree with you. When I was 17, 18, I got to hang out with all sorts of actors in Hollywood. We'd have breakfast every morning, and most of them were in their 30s and 40s, and I thought they were just all old men.
Mm-hmm.
They were decades beyond me, And then when I was like 30, they were 50 or whatever it was. So it's amazing that now live long and prosper in many ways because of the kind of work that you do and the kind of inspiration that you provide, and that inner work that brings out that inner beauty is because of people like yourself, Les.
But I want to congratulate you for living a life of contribution, teaching people how to live a life on their terms. What we know is that most people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65. And they've been going through life as volunteer victims. But the methods and the techniques and the guests that you bring on and information that you share teach people that they're more than a conqueror, that they have the ability to live life on their terms. They have the ability to choose and to make a decision of what direction they want their lives to go in. We make decisions, and our decisions make our lives. So just hats off to you for the great work that you've been doing, enlightening and empowering people to live their best life.
Well, I appreciate that. And coming from you, I'm very humbled and very honored because you've been doing it for so many years and helping so many people worldwide. And as I said, you have the most infectious and marvelous and wonderful laugh.
Yeah. I'm a happy camper. Let the record show. I laugh in my sleep.
Can you refresh my memory? I know that many years ago when we first met, I said, I had seen the PBS special and I presented that in my workshops and programs. I said, you have to capture the essence of this gentleman in your life. You have to imbibe whatever he's imbibing, which is the mental, spiritual, the heart, things that he's doing to live a life that produces laughter like that and that much fun. But that PBS special was a half-hour special, and I forget the name of it.
It's called You Deserve, and we got an Emmy for that. In fact, people can still see it on YouTube. And you can also see another one called Les Brown Speaking in the Georgia Dome. There I'm speaking before 80,000 people. And as you know, Rex, that most people are fascinated with the work that I do because I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with my twin brother, Wesley, who is my hero because he spent 24 years in the military, got a Purple Heart, 2 tours in Vietnam, jumped out of airplanes 176 times. He also served in the Persian Gulf. And so now, my brother, we're together for the first time since we were 19, and we're going to finish life together. His wife of 50 years and 6 months, she made her transition. I went and got him. I said, you're not going to be in this house by yourself. We're going to do life together. And it has been exciting because he's a great orator and speaker as well. And so we're looking forward to moving around and impacting people together. But just once again, thank you for this opportunity to be interviewed by you.
Oh my gosh, the pleasure is all mine and the honor is mine. But that's so neat. Les and Wes Brown together speaking to the world that's what an opportunity. And if you're online or live or you have events where people can know about that, please let's even before we go any further, it's lesbrownmasterclass.com. But is that the best way to get in touch with you?
Yes, because Dr. Miles Monroe, who was one of my mentees, he said, Les Brown, there's no success without successors. So at this stage of my life now, I'm training people how to tell their story and how to make a difference and how to transform an audience individually and collectively. Most speakers, and what it helped me to stand out in the industry, that most speakers were focused on telling information from that very popular book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's a very good book. But if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy.
True.
I advanced with a story about how I wanted to make a difference in life and wanted to take care of my adopted mother. My brother and I, we were adopted when we were a few weeks of age. First of all, we were in foster care, and then years later, we were adopted. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. 87% of the kids that are relegated to that label are African-American males. And so, but I had a high school teacher who was just like you. And I was in his class one day looking for a friend named MacArthur Stevens. And he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. And I said, sir, I can't do that. And he said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, do what I'm asking you to do anyhow. And I said, I can't, sir. And then the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. And he asked, what's DT? And they said, he's the dumb twin. And when he said that, they started laughing at me. And he came from behind his desk and looked at me for a response. And I said, I am, sir. And he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Do you understand me? And I said, yes, sir. And Rex, my mother said, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Words can hurt, and very badly. But on that day, it's been said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse, but look at him as if he were what he could be. He becomes what he should be. And he looked at me not as a dumb twin. He looked at me as if I was a person of substance. And that was a transformative experience in my life. And it caused me to become the person that I am now. I've never known my real father, my biological father. Just saw 2 pictures of him about a year ago. In fact, if people go online and see the Les Brown 2021 surprise, they'll see a picture of my birth mother and birth father. I didn't see a picture of them till 2 years ago. I never thought I would ever see a picture of them or hear anything about them or meet anybody who knew them. But now I come to find out, Rex, that my birth mother, Beulah Rucker, she was a motivational speaker in Gainesville, Georgia. And my grandmother, she was a motivational speaker. They have the Beulah Rucker Museum. My mother's name is Dorothy Rucker. And so I always say that God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. But I now can connect the dots on why I am who I am and what drives me, and that is living a life of service.
That is so beautiful, and how wonderful that you've had that journey from not being accepted and not being recognized as the wonderful person you are, but wearing labels that unfortunately so many people have to wear in life, and words do hurt, and opinions. What you said about the opinion, don't succumb to the opinion of others, but it maybe better than anyone that it's not only their opinion, but it's their own opinion of yourself that truly matters. So what can people do? Because this is the Los Angeles Tribune Leadership Week, and a lot of people are genuine leaders like you are. So it's like in their DNA. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You accentuate the best that you have and offer it to the world in service. And then there are those people who just want to be leaders because it looks like a good gig. They just want to be the person on stage because that's all they care about. But for the person who suffers, as you did as a child, who said, I can't do that. I'm the dumb twin. I don't know how to do that. I've been, and he said, don't think that
someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Well, what leaders have to do is what you've been doing, Rex. This program that you have, it's about affirming people, and how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. So when leaders speak, something happens. One, they interrupt. It's what I call it when I'm training speakers: distract, dispute, and inspire. That you disrupt a person's vision of themselves. And as they listen to you and the guests and the information that you provide, you dismantle their current belief system of being limited and living a small life. And you inspire them to have the courage, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. So what we all have to do, I feel, particularly in this era where we are, and this is a very intense year, and this is a place we've never been before. So when you look at what's happening politically, that has trickle-down effect, the divisiveness and people being at each other's throats and the disruptions that's taking place in the religious community, that people have to begin to understand that in this place that they call the distraction economy, that the power is in you to choose to live life on your terms. We have a choice. I believe that we live in the greatest country in the world. And if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, people say to me, you a natural communicator. Your mother was a speaker. Well, I met two brothers who were raised by our mother, and they don't speak because they have not invested in themselves. They have not put themselves in a position to learn and put in the effort to learn a new skill. All of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. And so when we look at ourselves, look at our situations and circumstances, George Bernard Shaw said, the people that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want. And if they can't find them, they create them so they can live life on their terms.
Well, that's so beautiful. As Napoleon Bonaparte was supposed to have said, damn the circumstances, I make the circumstances.
Absolutely. Abraham Lincoln said, my future is bright because I'm going to create it. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, behave.
You make such a wonderful point, and that is that you people, dumb, broken, dumb, speechless, and naked, but also somebody has a natural proclivity or what we call natural talent to sing, to speak, to play sports, to do math, to invest in their
I got to interrupt you. I said to Maya Angelou, who was a great communicator, I said, you are a natural communicator. He said, Les, I get aggravated when people say that. And I asked her why. She said, show me a natural heart surgeon. I said, oh, they learn.
No, and I wholeheartedly agree. And what I was going to say is that the tendency or the proclivity to be good at something remains dormant until you invest in it. If you want a return on your investment, you have to invest in it and make it happen. Michael Jordan did become one of the world's best basketball players because he didn't play basketball. He, even in high school, he wasn't that good of a basketball player, but he became a champion. Muhammad Ali, Olympic swimmers, all the different people who rise to the Albert Einstein wouldn't have been Albert Einstein if he didn't bother time to, develop his thinking process. So the point that you make is that I love is that regardless of where you start and regardless of what advantage or what disadvantage, you have a choice to make the best of the situation and to overcome anything that seems to be a limitation and to encourage and enhance anything that seems to be an advantage. And if more people understood what you're sharing, it's like if you have ears, you still have to be able to hear and understand and appreciate what's being said. Otherwise, it's just sound. And so many people hear the sounds, but they don't actually apprehend or learn or get what's being spoken. But when they do, it's the starting point, right? Because that's when they have that choice.
Yeah, we all have what I call moments in life. Denzel Washington was in a movie called Touch. And there was a scene there that he said there are moments in life that there's before this and there's after this. And after this, nothing is ever the same again. And there are people who are listening to us and are watching us right now who've had some experiences that they knew their lives would never be the same again because of that experience. It was a jaw-dropping experience that brought something out of them. All adversities and setbacks are pregnant with new possibilities. And this is why I'm training speakers now, because all of us have some experiences and some red seas that we had to overcome. I've got a saying that if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you could look up, you could get up. And so all of us now can share our experiences. I believe that the world is as it is now, not because a few people are violent and evil and divisive. I believe that the world is as it is now because too many people are silent. And so my goal at this stage of my life is to amplify other voices and teach people how to strategically tell their story so that the people in the audience who hear them can see themselves in the story, and it will ignite in them a hunger. You got to be hungry to want to do something big with their lives, to want to live a life that will outlive them. And I believe that we have a responsibility to do that. Einstein was asked the question, what's the meaning of life? And he said, don't ask what is the meaning of life, ask what is the meaning of your life. I believe that mankind was created for the sake of mankind, that we're here to serve. And we've been taught the greatest among you will be your servant.
Wow. No, that is absolutely, I mean, I'm almost speechless because that is so good. But it's not just good, it's accurate, it's true, it's valuable for people to understand. And what you said about telling your story, the science will tell us we have mirror neurons, or there's different ways to describe what goes on, between people and they connect. But one of the things that we know from great leaders throughout the world, great thought leaders and people who shared the ability to transform, was to either speak in parables or speak in stories, and to speak in a way that captures the other person because they can see themselves in the story that you're telling. That's one of the ways that we break through that they hear only, is to appeal to them, correct?
Well, when you speak as a coach, as a speaker, as a radio host, a television host, people are asking three questions. Who are you? Because people listen to people that they can identify with, that they can relate to, and that they feel a connection. You can't correct unless you connect. And today there's another question. Can I trust you?
Yeah.
Because in this age of artificial intelligence, we don't know what's real. Somebody on my staff gave me a commercial, and I said, when did I record this? And she said, you did not. We just took a sample of your voice and we use a picture of yours to show you the power of artificial intelligence. I said, whoa, that was jaw-dropping. And so this is a time that as we look at ourselves, many people are intimidated because it's projected that artificial intelligence will replace over 325 million jobs, people who are doing repetitive work. However, that artificial intelligence is a scraper. It taps into the information that's already out there. We were created by the creator. I came up during the time of Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye. And there's a song they did years ago called Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby. Artificial intelligence doesn't have a heart. And what I'm doing is teaching people how to have three-dimensional speaking and communication going for themselves, to impact the mind, to move people from living in their history to live in their imagination. My favorite book says, I'll give you all your eyes can see, to touch the heart. Where the heart is, there the treasure is also, and to ignite the courage for them to decide, I want to do something else different with my life. This is where we are. And we need more leaders. We need more voices of peace, of harmony, and love and hope now more than ever before.
Well, and I agree with that. And I would also say that what you just touched on about AI versus the creative process inside a human being, we need those leaders who also are creators to create good things in the world so that more people can experience good things. I appreciate all of that. That is so deep. And so I just could go back to, you speak truth, good sir. You speak truth. And
thank you.
Yeah, no, it is so true. And the beauty of it is you have a way of saying it that captures the imagination, captures the hearts of people, but also is simple enough that people can appreciate it and understand it. Sometimes people talk so much that they miss the fact that people can't understand what they're saying.
Einstein said that genius is the capacity to make the complicated simple.
Right.
And the speakers that I train, I said, the best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest. That people, after a while, particularly in this distraction economy, they get turned off. So you've got to learn how to speak in bites and make impact with a few words that people can relate to and connect with and be able to incorporate in themselves and use in their everyday experience.
That is again another gorgeous, beautiful point that you make. Um, so, Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich, and I agree with you. Information. I as an actor, someone who taught acting and filmmaking, I used to take the screenplay because people would say, "What's more important, the screenplay, the written word, or the actor?" And I would throw the screenplay on the ground and go, "Act."
Right.
Right.
Nothing happens. Yes.
The script does inform the actor what they want to do in terms of creating a performance for film or for stage, but it can't do anything on its own. So it takes a human to bring it to life. So the most wonderful message needs someone to deliver it. And what you're doing is you're teaching people to deliver the message in a mean and a mode and a method for them to be able to reach people, impact them, encourage them to find the best inside themselves so that they can create the life that they want or live life on their terms, but to make more good. So it does come down to a choice. One of the things that you said earlier was you said about expecting the best in a person, and the Rosenthal effect, which the Pygmalion effect, the idea that or even the Peter Principle says a person will be raised to the level of their incompetence, but the Rosenthal effect says they will rise to the level of your expectations of them. So if you expect the worst of them, don't expect them to rise very far. But if you expect
there's something that goes beyond that. Harvard University released an 85-year study. It's called Your Reference Group.
Yeah.
And this study focused on who were the people that were more likely to become successful and reach their goals and live an achievement-driven life. And what they found that people who had a reference group of people who are going in the direction of where they're going, people who had similar values, people who had been in a community of greatness, of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. The Academy Award winner Sidney Poitier said, and I love this in his book called The Measure of a Man. He said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? And so when you're in a community of people who are going in the direction that you're going, people that you can learn from and that you can grow from. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough out of Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to go get another group. You're in the wrong group. So I practice what Mr. Washington told me. He said, Mr. Brown, you don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. Think about the goals that you want to achieve, and you must make a radical change in yourself. If a man is to gain his life, he must lose his life. Number two, he said, practice the principle of OQP, only quality people. If you run around with 9 broke people, I guarantee you, you'll become number 10. And 3, he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And I believe that in this era that the late Peter Drucker said that we must learn, unlearn, and relearn, that we have to really continue to fortify our minds to have the mental resiliency to handle the storms of life and all the things that's affecting us right now, and to develop strategic relationships. You can't do this thing called life by yourself. And you're going to have some moments where you need some help. And I believe ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. And your presentation power, how you present yourself. Steve Jobs said the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. Warren Buffett said that your ability to present increases your value in your career by 50%. So focusing on learning how to build strategic relationships, because relationships matter. How to present yourself to make a point, to make a sale, or to influence people is now more important than ever before.
Absolutely. That is you say it so eloquently, and so I love the way the words roll off of your lips. You always have kind of like an arrow to the heart. It's but in a beautiful way. You get right to the point, and you do it so eloquently. the people, I say this, you're known by the company you keep, but also the company you seek. And sadly, what happens for a lot of people is they seek to emulate, but they don't seek to become a part of a community that cooperates and collaborates and together build something in harmony. They want to crush their competition, or they want to defeat somebody here, or they want to do battle with someone over there. And they're always at odds instead of seeking how, we're in it together. We're on a globe that's circling the sun. We're not going anywhere else. But so together we're traveling, around the sun. Why not learn to live together in peace and harmony and acceptance and understanding, and foster that instead of the divisions and the things that keep us separate, or the things that we think, so having those people and finding those people is important. I would lead to this, and because it's part of, I think, everything that you're saying. The platitude, leaders are readers. They invest in themselves. They bother to learn and unlearn and then relearn. They don't just read, though, because they have to apply what they're learning. They have to understand that choice point, because to know and not to do is to not know. And the proper fruit of knowledge is always some form of action to back that up, so that you act. I mean, I can think about growing a garden all day long, but until I plant those seeds, I don't have a garden except here. So the within to without, there's a transmutation process for people. So when the people who we're speaking to right now, could we talk and embrace some more of the qualities of leadership, how to be effective in, with the people around you? And by the way, just so you know, we may be coming up on a commercial break sometime soon. Just so
okay. We've been told it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
I say that George Fraser had a point. It's who you know and what they know about you.
Yes.
Because if you are not known and have a reputation of being a credible person, a person of substance, a person of integrity, nobody's going to take your calls. So people have to really focus on themselves and ask themselves the question as they look at their goals and dreams, and hopefully beyond their comfort zone, because the comfort zone is what Brian Tracy calls the danger zone, which is appropriate title. That when you have goals beyond your comfort zone, you get to meet the next greatest version of yourself, because you're going to fail your way to success. And all of those experiences that we have, the good, the bad, the rejections, the setbacks, all of those things build our character and allow us to begin to get access to the power that we have within us to do more, to have more, and to experience. And we will find that all the things that we go through, life is lived going forward, but we learn from it looking back. Had I not been fired from radio, I would have never became a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. And if I had not had the experience of having a talk show that was rejected, I would not be a motivational speaker speaking to people around the world. Had I not been labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, there are people who say, if he could do that, then I can do this. And so even that had the value of inspiring people, saying your situation or your circumstances don't define you, they refine you and can elevate you to another level if you continue to invest in yourself and give the world the best that you have.
Wow. No, that is beautiful. You say it again so eloquently, hardship and difficulty help us. The people want to resist it because it takes them out of their comfort zone. But without them, we may never leave our comfort zone. I say this all the time. There's running around a racetrack is one thing, but some people put obstacles in the racetrack called hurdles, and they manage to jump over those in order to get to the finish point. But that is part of the process, and they enjoy the process. So our challenges or our obstacles are always those things that can lead us to be better. And you said it in so many great ways. Again, I want to piggyback on a point you made. Who you are and what you are speaks volumes. That saying, I can't hear you because who you are screams so loudly at me. But there are a lot of people who align themselves with the wrong people, or the wrong crowd. or they're looking at shiny objects instead of having a heart-centered service ideal or leadership principles to guide them. There's so much with AI now and fast hacks and quick breaks and magic bullets that they don't want to take the time to invest in becoming the kind of person for whom being better, is part of a natural process. They just want to get a quick fix or make quick cash or do something along those lines. But they also, some of them rise to the top and they're famous and everything else, but most of them don't succeed because people can tell whether you're actually genuine and sincere, whether you walk your talk, whether you've got the chops, whether you are a person worth knowing because you care about other people and not just yourself or the things that you can acquire.
Yeah, with the speakers that I train, I let them know people are listening and they don't just want to hear you. They want to feel you. They want to know who you are behind the words. They want to know, do you believe this?
Right.
Are you convicted in your spirit that I can live my life on my terms? And are you doing it? Because it's one thing to be a messenger. It's something else to be the message. And so in this space where we are, Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. This is an incredible time that we're in, major disruption, but an opening. Over 1,500 millionaires are being created every day. This is an incredible time of transition, and disruptions bring about new opportunities and new possibilities. And the people that will take advantage of it are the people that understand what Robert Schuller said. He said that you either expand or you are expendable. You got to grow or you're going to get left behind. And so somebody asked me, I had a friend who called me and said, hey, I see you all over the internet. We graduated together in 1963. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I've lived my life. I said, you have? I said, we're both 79. Are you calling me from the cemetery? Do people who take dirt naps, do they get phone privileges? You've lived your life. You're still breathing. You're still here. And so I believe that the reason that we have so much Alzheimer's and dementia, that if you don't use it, you lose it. I told my kids, hey, I'm cranking up to live full and to die empty. And if they tell you that I've died, don't let them embalm me right away. Wait 3 days, sneak in the morgue, and put a microphone in my hand. If I don't grab it.
Oh, we lost your sound. We lost the sound. There, we're back.
Yeah, I lost the sound. I said, if I don't grab the microphone and say, you got to be hungry, you call your brothers and sisters and say, Dad is gone now.
Wow. So you've raised so many important points, and we're talking also about attitude and the ability to choose how you view your circumstances as disadvantages or opportunities. And for those people watching who may have some difficulty doing that, they're immersed in whatever's going on in the world, and they think, oh, these are dire times and everything else. They don't yet see the fact that we all go through difficult times, but how we view them truly matters. And you can look back and appreciate them for what they've provided you. But when people are going through that, it's like they have one foot on the dock and one foot in the boat. They have it. So when it comes to this choice of moving from within to without, to being positive, to saying, I can make a difference in my life. I can create the kind of life that I want, and I can help other people do it. Or I'm going to be the author of my story and I'm going to shoot my story. How can we help them choose? What advice or suggestions do you have for them?
I'm glad you asked that question. That Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning, he said there's a dimension about us that, in spite of the inexhaustible cruelties of Nazism, there was a part of him and other Jews in the concentration camps that could not be touched. One of my students, she watched her mother commit suicide. She was 7 years old. And I asked her, how did you get past that? You're 7. Your father had already deserted the family, and your mother committed suicide. She said, for a time, I lost myself in drugs and alcohol. For a period of time, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. She said, but one day, when I took an overdose of pills, and I woke up and I said, I'm still here. Oh my God, I'm still here. I didn't die. And she said, I heard a message you said that rang in my mind, that God, life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. And you said, when you try and commit suicide, you're spitting in the face of God. And I got myself off that flow. And I decided that I was going to make my life a gift, that there was a reason that I'm here. I'm still here. I was chosen out of 400 million sperm. Yes, I watched my mother kill herself. Yes, my father left. Yes, I was abused. I was raped. Yes, I've gone through some stuff, but I'm still here. And my goal is to live a life that will outlive me.
Wow. Wow. That is powerful. Truly
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, but what a great example. And if people take that to heart, but for those people who haven't that kind of profound awakening, but they can hear that story.
We can always make a decision. That's something that nobody can take from us, because in this thing called life, as Viktor Frankl said, you either in a problem or just left one or headed toward one. The one thing that we have that no one can take from us, the ability to decide, choose ye this day whom ye shall serve, the ability to make a decision. What are you going to do now? A friend of mine who passed, and he was a radio personality out of Washington, D.C., and people would call in and tell them their story. And then he would ask, what are you going to do about it? And just get quiet. And that's the key. Life happens to all of us. I tell people, don't go around telling everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you and not them. Life be lifing. What are you going to do about it? Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. It might not make sense, but it makes faith to stand and do what you can where you are with what you have and never be satisfied. Yeah, you're stronger than you realize. Don't underestimate yourself. You don't know enough about yourself to say what you can't do.
Amen. I mean, that last words that you just said there, it's kind of like, who died and left you God to decide whether you're good or not good at something, or whether you'll be better tomorrow if you attempt to do it today. It's very beautiful. There's the Bible verse, that man can't serve two masters, they'll love one and hate the other kind of thing. And, there's a money thing.
Well, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Yes.
Indeed. So, but that can't serve two masters also has a physics property to it. That matter can't exist, can't occupy the same space. Two forms of matter can't occupy the same space. We know that, a rock in a glass of water will displace the water because it can't occupy the same space. So when it comes to choosing, the point is just choose. For every cause, there's an effect, and for every effect, there's a cause. And if you don't like the effect you're getting, change what you're doing in order to get a different result. But the key is to choose. And so many people sit there and vacillate, or they go, I have too many choices. I don't know what to do. Would you just say, make a decision? Make the best decision you can, but make a decision. And if it's the wrong one, you can change it.
Without question. When people decide, when they get to the point when they say, I've had it.
Yeah, never again.
A lady that lived next door to us when I was a kid named Miss Lillian. And I saw in a grocery store when I went back to Miami to visit my foster brothers and sisters. And I Said, Miss Lillian, how you doing? She said, fine, baby. I said, how's Mr. Marvin? She said, I don't know. I said, you don't? She said, I left him. She said, I'd had it. Get him going out, coming home drunk and jumping on me. I've had it. I remember quitting a job and they said, Les, where are you going? I said, I don't know, but away from here. I was working for Sears and they said, if you become the top salesperson, that you'll become the manager. And I was the top salesperson for 6 months. And they said, oh, we can't give you that position because it will lower morale because you're colored. I said, listen, don't say give to me. I earned it. And so, well, we're not going to do it. And I said, okay. And I decided if I can sell for them, I can sell for myself. And when we look at where we are right now, we know there's no such thing as job security. We know that this is the era of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. But here's something else we know. You were made in the likeness and image of God. It doesn't get any better than that. You have been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. You're more than a conqueror, but we will never exercise authority and dominion over our lives until we exercise authority and dominion over what we are not. Most of us come up in an environment where we have a limited vision of ourselves, and that's why what you are doing, teaching people every day, live life on your terms. Choose to invest in yourself, to upgrade your skills, to upgrade your relationships, and determine the kind of life you want to live. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up someplace else. Live life on your terms, not as a volunteer victim. Make a choice of what you want out of this thing called life.
Wow, that is powerful. And I want to add just briefly, really, the story that you shared, I share a similar story, and I talk a little bit about it in the book. But I lost everything: friends, money, relationship, career, everything for a long, long time. And then I did try to kill myself, and I jumped out of a window and landed on my head. And I was like, crap, I can't even kill myself. I was so mad that I couldn't die, and I ran upstairs to do it again, and I had locked myself out, and I was like, and my family came. They were visiting, and they came and they stopped me, and they they're trying to decide, should they put me in a mental institution, psychiatric care or whatever. They took the distributor caps off my car and everything, tried to prevent me from harming myself. But I got to the point where I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. That's it. I'm going to do something different. And I locked myself in my apartment for 6 to 8 weeks, just meditating and reflecting and visualizing and affirming and doing everything I knew to do to change myself in a chair, for 12, 15, 16, 17 hours a day. I peed, I got, food, but I sat in this chair to work on myself because I knew I could not go back to what was. But what was is what got me to sit in that chair and to make the decision to change my life and then move forward from that point on. If it hadn't been for the hardship, I don't know that I would even be here today. And I am so glad that I am. And I thank God, the universe, the powers that be, that was a defining moment, one of the defining moments in life, because we have many, but that was one of the defining moments at that time that put me, that I decided I would be on a journey to make something different and live life on my terms. So I appreciate that so very much. But
yes, and I'm glad you fail in your attempt of killing yourself, because the world is a better place because you're here. Thank you for who you are. Always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded.
And I am so glad that I came back for that story, Rex, because I am one life that really had been elevated and had gone, have done so much better with the book and the teachings of Rex Sykes, living life on your terms and living from the wish fulfilled, not from the histories of our past and the failures of the past, but what do you want life to look like, and living life as if your wish is fulfilled from that place. So thank you so much. Well, I'm coming. Oh my God, all of the shares that you made.
May I interrupt before you say that? Because truth be told, I also relied on the expertise of Mr. Brown to change and shape my life. It didn't happen in isolation. but because of Mr. Brown and people like Mr. Brown, I had opportunities to transform myself by reading, listening, watching, imbibing the message, the important messages that he makes, and the principles that he espoused, and the example that he is to the world. And if I could be like that, then I can be a better person. So that was part of it too. And I'm so glad to know you and everything else. I know you're going to say something. Can I ask Les one important question that?
Well, can I put a commercial and have you save that for when you come back in the commercial?
Absolutely. Are we at the commercial point, or are we
yes,
beyond
absolutely.
it? Okay, yes, please do the commercial, and please say what you're saying. I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, that's exactly. We're going to be right back after this commercial.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We have earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Wow, cool. So here's what I wanted to, I was going to ask you, Les, and you just saw the commercial too, and you've been a powerful, positive presence in many of our events, and maybe, and with me in my life and other places as well. And Ava is the editor-in-chief. And I know you didn't know I was going to ask you this, but the Tribune and Mo Rock, the CEO, he acquired the Los Angeles Tribune in order to not just provide news to the world, because the world is awash with news and misinformation and disinformation and negative news and disturbing news and all that kind of stuff, but to be a powerful and positive presence in the world, to inspire and to uplift and to edify people and to help other people make that choice and to step up. And so this is why you are on the show, and obviously here and other guests, because we want to make a difference around the globe. And I think that the LA Tribune is truly one of the leaders in that arena, that the voice, the message, the work, the summits, the presence of yourself is part of that process. And having been a part of some of the things that we do, and being the person that you are, is there anything that you would like to share with us about how we're doing, or what's going on, or how the Tribune is?
I think that the work that you're doing speaks for itself, that people need unbiased information. We need messages that will give us hope, when there's hope in the future that gives you power in the present. And we must understand that you're going to go through some stuff in life, that life is like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go well. This is going to be a very intense year. What's going on politically, the trickle-down effect, it's affecting all of us. Depression, anxiety, the suicide rate among our young kids has increased by over 30%. And so when we look at where we are right now, sometimes things have to get real bad before they get better. In the middle of a surgery, it looks like a murder, but on the other side, there's a healing. And I'm a perpetual optimist. I believe that we were born and preserved for such a time as this. And the Los Angeles Tribune is a voice of light, and constantly speaking light to darkness. And that your voice, encouraging people to choose to live life on their terms. And Ava, and the stand that she's taking and doing what she can to empower and influence men and women all over the globe. We were born and preserved for such a time as this. I'm in the presence of greatness, and I'm very appreciative. You've been a blessing to me. I'm turning red. I'm blushing now, but y'all can't see it.
Well, if that, thank you so much for those words, Les. But if you think you're turning red, one of the things that you always say is living life of service. Living a life of contribution. And at the Los Angeles Tribune, you didn't know this when we invited you, but we have nominated you for a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from the Office of the President. And that is the President's Volunteer Service Lifetime Achievement Award for living a life of contribution, for living a life of service, living a life of generosity. And we wanted to, this is going to come with a medal from the president, a certificate, and a pin like I am wearing, and that Rex is wearing right now from the Office of the President. And we can either, present this to you physically in person, or we can mail it to you. But I wanted to let you know that we are honored to be able to have this opportunity to honor you for living a life of contribution.
Thank you so much. Very touched by that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much.
And so, Les, in the closing, honoring your time, living a life of contribution. You weren't always privileged, right? You weren't always wealthy. You were born, in challenging times, and yet you've always made a choice of living a life of contribution. What does contribution, what does service, volunteering mean to you?
To me, it's answering the call in your life. A calling is something that you love so much that you do it for nothing. But you do it so well in serving people that eventually people will pay you to do it. I love encouraging and motivating people. And this is why I'm here. Every day when I get up, I look at the things that my staff give me and say, this is the agenda for the day. And I ask myself, because life is so fragile, if this was the last day I had on earth, would I do the things that's on this list? And I start drawing lines through things. Warren Buffett said he did an interview with billionaires, and one of the things they say is no 90% of the time. And now my focus is on being a great grandfather to my 15 grandchildren and 4 great grandsons. I wish I'd had my grandchildren and grandsons first. Because they think I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm focusing more on them and developing speakers. I don't travel much as I used to. And I'm just encouraged with the fact that I'm still here. I received from Cancer Centers of America 39-year 4th stage cancer conqueror because of God's grace and mercy. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Les, better to be seen
than to be viewed. Yes.
What I love about you, Les, is you're not just a survivor, you're a thriver.
And a conqueror. I'm a cancer conqueror. 4th stage prostate cancer conqueror. Had 338 radiation seed implants. Nobody had that many implants on the planet, and I'm still here.
We are glad you are. We are glad you are, because you contribute not only to us here right now, but to the people you've spoken to all around the world for so many decades. Your mission and your vision has been just an enormous blessing to the planet.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And continue to do the great work that you're doing.
I will if you will.
I most certainly will. I can't help it. I got the can't helps it.
Remember, they've got to give that microphone, and make sure that he doesn't grab it.
Yes.
Les, before we close, I'd like to bring up another person. She is actually our Director of Business Solutions in the Los Angeles Tribune. Her name is Alicia Magnus Lewis. And she, one of the things that we do in the Los Angeles Tribune is provide solutions for entrepreneurs. As an editor-in-chief, I would sit with a lot of people who wanted to grow their business and advertise their business, and I would look at what they're doing and how they're going to be monetizing, and I would say, well, advertising isn't going to help you because your business systems isn't in place to turn eyeballs into dollars. And so this is how we brought together a team of business solutions who's now pretty much from I call it from startup to stardom. We build everything for entrepreneurs. And so this Alicia is the director of that division. And Alicia, how honored are you to have an opportunity to be on the same screen with Les Brown?
It is such a delight to be here with you, Les. Your story, your joy, your spirit of I am showing up. All of me right now showing up has been so inspirational. I've had the pleasure of listening to your discussion today with Rex and with Ava, and something that sticks out about your presence is showing up, being a voice, understanding that I've been through my journey and other people are going through their journeys, and you never know what's on the other side. Rex said that you inspired him, and Ava was inspired by Rex, and each one that shifts and shapes another's mindset, feelings about themselves and what they're capable of doing really has the impact to shape and shift the world. I've had the pleasure and honor of learning from each and every one of you here that are part of this discussion. And it's been enriching, but also has been fuel to help contribute and to continue to serve the world and to serve humanity. So just want to say it is a pleasure to be here with you. Congratulations as well on your nomination for the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for all that you are doing for the world, for the community, but also for your family. I love that you said that right now you're focused on your family, on your grandchildren, because it's also about doing what you can do to pour into you in your own spirit. And family is a big part of that, whether blood family or chosen. So just want to say thank you.
Thank you so very much. You look like one of my daughters.
Pleasure, delighted. I think you're on mute here.
I would say, Les, we would like to give you the floor, the full stage for however you would like to give your inspiration on leadership as we close, and then we'll just come off the screen.
And when we do, we'll meet in the green room and hang out.
Okay, thank you so much.
Would love.
I'd like to say coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. Those of you that are listening and stayed with us from the beginning of this interview, that it's not by accident. I believe that we're cut from the same cloth and we're branches of the same tree. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you want to do with your life. But here's what I know. And I said it earlier, that life is God's gift to us. And how we live our lives is our gift to God. Our children are watching. Our children are listening. And this is a time that we must think in terms not of politics, but legacy. And as you think about your goals and dreams, I want to speak to your heart. My mother used to love to hear me say this. Leslie, yes, ma'am, mama. Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. And I dedicate this to you. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. You have something special. You've got greatness in you. That's my story. and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Yes.
Oh my God.
Very
Thank
powerful.
you, Les. I
Thank
love
you.
that. What an inspiration you are. You always, every time you open your mouth, you inspire and empower, which is what we stand for in the Los Angeles Tribune. We're news that inspires, educates, and empowers. So we are so delighted that you're here with us. Would love to know a little bit about Les Brown Masterclass. I would want to have the opportunity. Could you give us a little bit more and tell our audience a little more about Les Brown Masterclass?
Yeah, what I'm doing now is teaching people how to orchestrate an experience with an audience and transform them individually and collectively. In order to transform people, you have to create a significant emotional event. And we can do that with stories. We can do that sharing things who we've gone through and how we handle those things. And so this is the time that we have to change the narrative. Right now, we're being inundated with a lot of negative things. Evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. I believe the world is in a dark place because those of darkness are outworking people of light. And that's why the Los Angeles Tribune and Rex and Arbor, why you're so important in the work that you're doing. And so I'm teaching people how to speak and create an experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or story, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. So I'm encouraging people who are interested in learning how to increase their presentation skills, how to be a voice of influence and impact, and also how to monetize their dreams and ideas and their skills. Go to lesbrownmasterclass.com and check us out. Thank you.
Can I add something to that? And because this is truly about you and your inspiration and your ability. When I discovered Les, I had already been teaching seminars for a couple of decades. But that didn't prevent me from seeking or looking at and wanting Les as a mentor, a coach, a guide, a trainer, an inspiration, and somebody who could help me get further on. So it doesn't matter where you are in the journey. There's always somebody who can help you. And if you go to that guy, Les Brown, he certainly will.
Thank you so much. Very kind of you.
For sure. And so on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune, our CEO, Mo Rock, on behalf of the Office of the President, honoring you with the Lifetime Achievement Award for volunteer service, Les, we want to thank you. And Rex, thank you for bringing your good friend Les Brown to the Los Angeles Tribune. Thank you for all the contributions that you are. Rex is also a Lifetime Achievement Awardee from the Office of the President. I'm sure you're going to be an alumni, also once you receive the award. So with that, Les, thank you so much. Wanted to go around the room very quickly and say our gratitudes to Les and to our audience. Alicia.
Thank you, Les, for all that you do and all that you continue to do. What you are doing with the Les Brown Masterclass is so needed. It is phenomenal. Everyone has a voice, and stories does have the power to affect change, to create inspiration, and giving individuals the tools that they need to be effective and understanding how they can turn their own personal stories, because everyone's story is unique, into something that they can actually monetize is also very, very critical. So we appreciate you for the work that you've already done and are so excited for all of the influence and the impact of the speakers that are going through the Les Brown Masterclass will contribute to the world.
Thank you.
And of course, Rex.
I love you, and keep doing what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is working. And it's helping change lives all around the globe for decades and decades. So thank you, my senior by 10 years. And I love you. I love you. You are just such an unbelievable treasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.